So your mock draft.
My mock draft.
2021, I tried to convince you to do the straight, like, what would Chris Sims do if you were the GM of every team?
Right.
And so you'll sprinkle a little bit of that in here, but this is what you think will happen.
Yeah.
And we'll note the places where you think that that's a bad pick, that you don't think they should do that. But we'll start with the number 1 overall pick, Jacksonville Jaguars. A shocker. Who do you have going number 1?
Well, Trevor Lawrence, come on, you know that. I mean, we all know that. That's why Urban Meyer took the job. I mean, come on, he was there handing the ball off to Trevor Lawrence during his pro day workout. So, of course, that's going to happen. He's worthy of the number 1 pick. He's got big-time star potential, as we've talked about. Yeah, there's some unrefined things about his throwing that I'd like to see him get fixed, but it doesn't worry me. It doesn't. I mean, again, there's just too many good throws, ability to make every throw, the size, the athleticism, of course, just the intangibles as far as how he acts in pressure situations. I mean, he seems unflappable. So I love this pick for Jacksonville, and I love Trevor Lawrence, even though everybody thinks, I don't, just because I had Zach Wilson as my number 1 quarterback.
Had that Sports Illustrated story that, even we talked about on this podcast.
Right.
You try to slice and dice just because sometimes you get bored of talking about the same things all the time. But the guy's got perspective. And I don't think it was that he doesn't love football. It's just that he's got a lot of other things going on in his life that he likes as well. And you need that. You don't want to be so obsessed with one thing that you drive yourself crazy.
No.
As I have found in my life many times. When I become obsessed with one thing, it drives me crazy.
Well, you're right. And, if he fails a few times or, hits a few bumps in the road here early in his career, I bet he'll have a chip on his shoulder about something. You don't just have that for no reason, especially when you've been the king of college football for the last few years. There's nothing for him to be chippy about. What?
Yeah.
He runs the show. So there's nothing he's mad or feels cheated about. But no, I'm all for this pick. It makes a lot of sense. It's going to sell tickets. He's a legend in that part of the country. And really, again, he's totally worthy of this pick. He has big-time talent. And even with his little issues as far as the mechanical things that I say can be inconsistent, he can fix those. I've seen enough good throws to know that, first off, he can do it the right way. But second off, like his issues aren't like Justin Fields, where I go, these ones I don't know if you could fix. These are like, just get the feet lined up the right way. Have a little bit more shoulder turn. They're minor things for Trevor Lawrence. And if he can fix some of those things, like he can have one of the most powerful arms in all of football too.
So number 2, you have a quarterback, I'm assuming, here as well. Zach Wilson going to the Jets, what everyone thinks here. You like Zach Wilson better than Trevor Lawrence.
I do.
But you think it's defensible to go Lawrence 1 and then Zach Wilson 2.
I do. I do. I mean, again, Lawrence is the safe pick for 1.
Yeah.
So, and it's the one that's been, sold to the masses for so long. But I love, of course, Zach Wilson, the talent he brings. I mean, it's, anybody that was listening, it's Rodgers, it's Mahomes-ish. It's the most talented thrower in the draft. It's the most explosive arm in the draft. I would say, athletically, as far as in the pocket and stuff like that, he's him and Mac Jones are the best in the draft too, as far as moving in the pocket, doing things like that. Wilson separates himself because he can throw 30-yard lasers from, throwing a ball from knee level. I mean, he can just make throws that nobody else in this draft can make.
You need a really short defensive lineman, though.
A big lane. You need a big lane. You need a big lane. But to me, just the perfect fit for what the Jets want to do on the offensive side of the ball. As you've heard me say, this is Aaron Rodgers with Matt LaFleur up in Green Bay. Now you got Zach Wilson with Mike LaFleur here in New York, and I think it could be a special marriage.
All right, so quarterback.
Number
3, also going to be a quarterback. You have several thousand San Francisco 49er fans going, please say Justin Fields here. And another 1,000 saying, please say Trey Lance here. And then you have about 5 or 10 that say, I'd be okay with Mac Jones.
Right.
So what do you think it is?
I'm going with a 5 or 10. I'm going with Mac Jones. Yeah, I am. I know there's been a lot of talk about, for the 49ers and people reporting it's down to Trey Lance and Mac Jones. And listen, I don't know the thoughts here all the way, right? I know my friend, and I still, like I said from the start, I think it's going to be Mac Jones. I do. Just first off, I think he's the most worthy of being that number 3 pick. I think that's the guy you trade up for. And, of course, he's NFL ready this moment right away, let alone there's a lot of awesomeness about his football game. All right, and that's where people are missing out. I know there's not this one thing that just jumps out, but it's when you put it all together and then you watch it on the film, it jumps out to go, Every play is good. Every's a great throw. Great decision. Whoa, awesome moving in the pocket. Whoa, way to change your release a little to throw the perfect ball here into a tight window with people around you. I mean, it's quarterback play at its finest. This is Drew Brees or Matt Ryan type of guy we're talking about here. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Mac Jones here. I understand the Trey Lance love. Mm-hmm. I'd be intrigued to see what it looks like with Shanahan's offense too. I saw it, I feel like, with RG3 a little bit, right, a few years back. But I think this will be Mac Jones. I'll be surprised if it's not.
Be surprised if it's not Mac Jones.
Yeah.
This is the final call. Mac Jones going number 3 to San Francisco. So then number 4, and let me be clear. Did you do any trades or mock trades?
I got a few trades.
You do have
I got
some
a few
trades.
trades coming up.
All right, so there is some thought that maybe if the 49ers go Mac Jones there, that someone who's high on Justin Fields or high on Trey Lance may trade up to Atlanta at number 4 right here if Atlanta's not sold on a quarterback, if they want to ride Matt Ryan for a little bit more. So number 4, what do the Falcons do here?
I'm going to go with Kyle Pitts, a tight end from Florida here.
So stay put and draft the tight end.
Stay put, draft the tight end. Matt Ryan still got good years left in front of him. Arthur Smith wants to run that offense. I mean, man, now you got Julio, Calvin Ridley. I know Julio's supposedly on the trade block here, but those two with Kyle Pitts, to me, it just makes sense from not only for what they have on the roster, but the type of offense they want to run there too. They're going to run a kind of a run-first, play-action type offense. That's where Pitts fits, let alone Pitts is as good as any tight end I can remember coming out in the draft. I mean, he's just like we talked about last week. It's a freak show. I mean, he can do whatever you want. So that's if I'm the Falcons, I'm going Kyle Pitts. I mean, I know a lot of people think there's real interest in Trey Lance there in Atlanta. That was kind of the rumor. I'm going to say that they've come to their senses and realized they got a quarterback that's got at least 2 or 3 really good years left in him, and they try to stay in that window for now.
Yeah, what is Matt Ryan now? 36,
36, right?
Which sounds super young. Now, it's like 36. He's got plenty of years.
It is nothing.
He could play for another 10 years maybe. So if there were not these many good quarterbacks in the draft this year, say it was a down year on quarterbacks, would you have any problem seeing Kyle Pitts as a 1.1 number 1 overall pick in some drafts where there's not a clear quarterback?
Ooh,
you know?
Yeah, I mean, he's that type of talent.
You would have no problem, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's
maybe a small problem taking him number 1 overall.
Well, yeah, one's, it's hard to think that it just wouldn't be somebody out there. But no, I mean, he is every bit as worthy of being the number 1 non-quarterback on the draft board. He is definitely, like, I don't look at that and go, oh, this is crazy or this is overhyped. I think anybody that knows me or listened to my pods over the years, if I thought, I would tell you if I was like, man, I like this guy, but he's being a little, I mean, we're talking about the number 1 player in the draft. I don't know about that. No. He's worthy. There's really not a weakness to him.
Like knowing what we know now about Jared Goff and Carson Wentz that year.
Yeah.
It's like knowing what we know now.
I know.
They're not end-all, be-all.
Right.
And you think Kyle Pitts could be a generational talent. You'd be like, maybe we would take him over those guys.
I hear you. It's quarterback, and you can't tell anybody else anything else.
You need a quarterback. Yeah. You got to have one of those.
Yeah.
All right, so number 5, they have a quarterback. Joe Burrow got him number 1 overall last year. Are you going to protect him? Are you going to give him a weapon? That seems to be the question.
It is the question. And from everything I know, this is the real question going on in Cincinnati. I mean, I got good info to know that this is a real conversation. And I'm going Jamar Chase here.
Okay.
I am. I know I've explained this pick a little bit on the podcast the last few weeks because they could go either way. You know, it could be a Penei Sewell and then draft another receiver at the top of the second, or you could go receiver and there's going to be another good offensive lineman there at the top of the second too. So which one do you want to do? I think what I got to in my heart of hearts is I just said, you know what? Elite receivers like this don't grow on trees every day. All right? And I'm a big Penei Sewell fan, so don't get me wrong here. But I guess what I'm saying is a receiver can change the offense. A left tackle can't. He can't change it. He can make it better, but he still needs the rest of the offensive line to be good around him, and they need to work as a unit and everything like that. The receiver can totally change the way the team is perceived, the amount of pressure that offense is going to be able to put on the defense. It's going to make them think about, do we want to blitz that offensive line?
Right.
Because, man, now we're leaving our guys vulnerable with those receivers, Higgins, Jamar Chase, and him. So I'm going make a unit elite that way. okay, and then build a unit as far as your offensive line is concerned. Don't just try to go for one star guy on that unit. And that's where I'm going to play. Go Ja'Marr Chase and get the offensive lineman in the second round.
They were college teammates at
Yeah.
LSU. Does that factor at all into the decision here, you think?
No doubt about it. I mean, that it's was a special connection. Like special. As good as we've ever seen in college football history. I mean, it's right up there with Mac Jones and Devontae Smith this year. But like, we're talking about this class, right? How like there's some talented receivers. We were talking about last year, how last year was talented receivers. And everybody last year would have told you Ja'Marr Chase is the best receiver in the country last year. I mean, last year he was the guy. He could have left. He's one of those few guys that could have been like, he can do 2 years in college and be a star in the NFL. We don't really need to do that whole 3-year thing.
Yeah.
He's a man.
Which is what he got, basically.
Is what he got. Is basically what he got. But yeah,
college.
I'm a huge fan. I think he's going to be a star in the NFL.
So number 5, we got Ja'Marr Chase hooking up with his college teammate Joe Burry. Joe Burry, the old Burry. Number 6, the Miami Dolphins. A lot of people think they could do the same thing.
I know.
Tua and perhaps one of his receivers at Alabama. Number 6, Dolphins, what do you got?
I'm going Devontae Smith.
You are.
I am. Devontae Smith is, again, as I said during my wide receiver rankings, it's like 1A and 1B with Chase and Devontae Smith. I mean, these are stars, studs. And Devontae Smith really, it's best route runner in the draft, incredible feet at the line of scrimmage, and can fly. Can flat out fly. So, I just think when you take all that stuff into account, it's hard to pass him up. He's a game breaker for me, let alone he's going to be able to do all the meat and potato stuff. The only thing is the weight, like we've talked about.
Yeah.
It's the only risk. Because if he gets hurt, everyone's going to say, yeah, I told you so. He was too skinny. But, again, you have to have some evidence to lead you down that road to think, ooh, that could be an issue. And there's just really nothing there. For me, he's amazing. He really is. These two guys are special wide receivers in the NFL.
There's a lot of talk about Jalen Waddle here, too.
I know.
And it seems like, Mike was talking about that on the show.
He thinks that, and I think Mike was probably saying that because he's probably heard that from somebody. So
what do you make of that? You're probably lower. Not that you're low on Waddle because you still have him, in your top 4 wide receivers?
4, right? I'm a De'Ami Brown lover.
A lot of people think Waddle's the burner, that can get downfield, the more dynamic guy.
Well, he's more of a slot guy. I mean, he's got incredible acceleration, all of those type of things. He plays smaller, and I think there is more slot value to him. Maybe can you do more of the speed sweep gadget type stuff? Okay, maybe with him. But, I prefer Devontae Smith more than him. But I know there's a lot of people that think this could be a Jalen Waddle pick here.
All right, so we got receiver, I guess, if you count Kyle Pitts as a receiver.
Close enough.
At number 4. So now my Detroit Lions, number 7. And you know what I did? I bought the draft hat. Have you seen those draft hats?
I haven't seen the new ones.
The big logo in the front.
Yeah, is it like this year's official draft hat?
Yeah, I did. I've never done that before.
Good for you.
But
Look at you.
For whatever reason, I saw it and I thought it looked good. I'm not even a hat guy.
Right.
I don't even wear that many hats.
Watch you guys trade out of the first round. You can't even put it on.
And I should have brought that. But number 7 pick. The Lions have a lot of holes.
Yeah.
They could trade down if they can, I guess. What do you think they'll do?
I do think they'll look to trade down.
Yeah.
I don't doubt that. I think, though, ultimately they're not going to find anybody there quite yet. And I think Penei Sewell is going to be the pick.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I think so. One, there's need there on the offensive line, okay? And then 2, Penei Sewell's really good. He's a phenomenal football player. And I think he kind of embodies the attitude of what they want up there. Dan Campbell biting kneecaps and all that. Sewell's got that mean, tough, kind of gritty attitude that I would think that Dan Campbell saw with the New Orleans Saints or his days with Bill Parcells and back then. This is the kind of offensive lineman that make teams good and nasty, So I look at that, and then you add Anthony Lynn into the conversation. I just look at all of that and go, that to me seems like running, physicality. Let's start to win that battle first up front. And I think they'll go there, and, of course, he's a hell of a player.
I'd be all about that. Because when you have all these holes, and you did say it is a deep tackle class.
Yeah.
Right? You can get some in the second round, but you're not getting any.
You're not getting
of the
Penei
caliber.
Sewells. No.
Maybe in the next 5 years.
Well,
right? For a tackle like him.
He's got some freakish things, right? He has some things you look at for me where I just go, there's some Hall of Fame traits. To be close to 330 and to be as twitchy and as quick as he is, and then, to be the true nasty road grader we talked about a little bit. I mean, there's really everything is there. Everything other than maybe elite arm length is probably the only thing we're missing here. And it's close enough. And his arms play long. Like, I was shocked. What was his measurement for his arms, Pete? Do you remember it was like, I want to say a little under 34.
Pete, off the top of your head, he should have the arms
what is he doing?
every player off the top
What
of
is he
his head.
doing?
No, he's still looking. We'll get
All
back
right,
to
we'll
the
get back
arm
to it.
length.
Yeah, don't worry.
We'll
It's
get
not
back
that
to the
big of a
arm length
thing.
of Penei Sewell. And we'll see maybe if the Lions want to
33 and a quarter.
Say,
yeah, you'd like it closer to 30. You'd like it 34. But
I mean, that's pretty close.
I know. It's pretty close. You'll be all right.
Number 8 then, so if you got the first offensive lineman going off the board at 7 to the Lions, the Carolina Panthers, which is going to be fascinating because there are even people that think, even after trading for Sam Darnold, like, if Fields is there and if Lance is there, they might
be
get a
shocked.
quarterback.
All right, I think Carolina tried to tell us without telling us what their quarterback plan was. One, there's a lot of rumors in the NFL community that they were looking to trade up in the draft anyways to get a quarterback, okay? They coached Mac Jones at the Senior Bowl. And I don't think it's a coincidence that, the 49ers traded up to 3 and people like me and everybody kind of linked them to Mac Jones. And then, 3 days later, it's Carolina's in trade talks with the New York Jets. I don't think that's coincidence, right? So I think they've already made their play here. I think they're going to say, we don't know, because they're hoping somebody might worry about them still taking a quarterback. And I think that's probably why they haven't done the 5th-year option. They're trying to sell that bill of goods. We still might take the quarterback. See, we didn't give him the 5th-year option. We traded all these picks away for him. And we're just going to throw them down the river. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And to me, for what they're trying to do in Carolina, they want a quarterback like a Mac Jones or a Sam Darnold or a Teddy Bridgewater, which I mean just be surgical throwing the ball from in the pocket. To me, Justin Fields and Trey Lance are not that at this point of their career. So the Carolina Panthers at pick number 8. I got him. Trade him back because the Washington football team is coming up to take Trey Lance.
Wow.
Okay?
Washington
and there's my
trading
first. I just feel like Washington's a team that's got a lot of things on their roster that are really good. I know there's some teams that are hot on Trey Lance. I've been told by some people in the know, all right? I don't know for sure if it's Washington.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say that they are one of the teams here that makes a play.
So they would go from 19
Yes.
all the way to 8.
Right.
It'd
Which
be
is going to be a
interesting
haul.
to know what that haul would
I
be.
know.
Is that multiple first-rounders?
It might be. It might take, a swapping in this first round, next year's first round, and probably some other stuff to go along with it. Yes. I'm going to make that play.
All right.
Trey Lance sitting there, a big-time talent. The Washington football team, Ron Rivera, the way they're setting it up, with Norv Turner's son. I'm blanking on his first name.
Yeah.
I have so many damn names in my head.
Yeah, Norv Jr.
No, it's not. It's driving me crazy. I can picture his face. But Scott Turner, thank you very much.
Scotty.
Damn, sorry, Scott. But their history with Cam Newton, Trey Lance can be that type of quarterback. All right, yes, might not be ready right now. Okay, we got Ryan Fitzpatrick. You could sit here for a year, learn those type of things.
Yeah.
I'm going to play that. I think somebody's going to make a play here. Washington, to me, is the team that jumps out. So if I had to pick one, I'm going Washington, making the move.
All right, so you think that could be the first spot that a team trades up. Number 8, Washington getting Trey Lance from North Dakota State. So let's recap our first 8 picks so far. Some chalk at the top there. Everyone thinks Lawrence, Wilson, and Mac Jones has been the rumor for quite some time. Kyle Pitts, Florida, the Falcons, Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, Bengals and Dolphins. The Lions taking Penei Sewell, and then Trey Lance going to Washington. So we have 4 quarterbacks going in the top 8.
Damn.
Pretty good.